Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil. Does Biden know what
Immigration
Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at? I think
Butthole.
Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem? Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news? It's a freaking inside job, man. The entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Another episode coming at you live at 5:45 on a Sunday afternoon.
Central time zone.
Yeah, that's that's important. I
Well, I
guess.
mean, it's not 5:45 for everyone.
That's true. I should be more sensitive to people in other time zones.
DEI.
That was I was not recognizing the diversity of time zones that we experience, and that could be zonist.
Yeah,
That
that'll
could
be
be-
the next thing is time zone shaming. Like somebody who lives in like Fiji, they're like, oh, their time zone is ignored, especially if they're brown too. Brown people in forgotten time zones. That's the next thing we can bet on the stock of thereof rising.
Yes,
Stock rising thereof. I said
that is a
back.
new. Yeah, we're gonna be like throwing shade at the Eastern time zone people because fuck them, you know.
Yeah, do you know the international date line and the 180th meridian are like completely different? It's really weird if you look at a map of it.
Why are they different? They should be the same,
I
right?
don't know. They just say political concerns.
Oh, that's some bullshit. Jeez, John, you're just making a lot of waddling noise over there, bud.
Thank
You
you to
getting
our
back
producer,
comfy?
John, for all the hard work he does and for all the faffing he does on our audio.
We appreciate it. Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
So we will be talking about the shit on the news here shortly, but I believe
Right.
you have a question for me today.
I do. We're starting this. I asked Carson a random thing. Here's the random thing. Have you ever touched the exterior of an airplane? I don't know. Have you?
I believe I have.
Tell us about it.
At
And
two
what did-
occasions
What did it feel like as well?
where it just felt like painted metal.
Okay.
But I believe it happened at a museum once as a child.
Did you get in trouble? That seems a little scandalous.
No, I did
Okay.
not. And I believe it also happened at an air show once, again as a child.
You went to an air show with your family?
Yeah, they took me to one air show. I've told you. I think we've talked about this on that.
Sure.
We talked about this on here actually, and my parents took me to see. Is it the Thunderbirds? Is that the? It's not the Blue Angels. It's like the other version of. Can you search that real quick, John? 'Cause that's gonna bother me.
Fish. Yeah, fish.
We went to see like the Thunderbirds or something, and I got. It was hot. It was the middle of summer, and I got super thirsty.
Yeah.
And my family just they were so cheap or poor. They might have been so poor. I'm not sure, but they would not. We didn't have any water with us, and they would not get me anything to drink.
I remember this story's coming back to me. You have talked about this before.
Yeah, and so I just started weeping openly at the air show because I was so terribly thirsty as a child.
Well,
The Thunderbirds is like the Air Force
Okay,
version of
there you go.
that, because isn't the Blue Angels like Navy?
I don't know. A Top Gun is Navy. I know that.
Yep, it is. It's a school where they go and they're the best fighter
I know.
pilots.
I know Top Gun is Navy. That's all I know.
Iceman won officially, but everybody knows Tom Cruise got the real award.
Right, and Val Kilmer's dead, so
Yeah,
R.I.P. Oh,
Ooh,
fun thing.
he was Batman, which I've never seen. But he's a great actor, and Tombstone is a great movie.
Tombstone is great. It was very good.
So you've touched an airplane.
I have. Have you touched an airplane?
I'm sure I've like smacked the outside of one just as good luck charm on the way into a flight, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can often. It's
Yeah,
you know, sometimes those gates don't perfectly
right. There's a little bit
surround the door.
There's like a 6 inches of wiggle room.
You're basically a terrorist if you touch the outside
I
of the
know.
airplane.
I know. What were they thinking?
They
man?
should have detained you in TSA.
That I put some Simtex on there and shouted my love to Muhammad and Jihad. Jihad Muhammad. Jihad Muhammad Salih is a great name for a Muslim. For anyone who's looking for Muslim boy names out
Okay.
there.
For all those Muslim expecting parents.
I'm just trying to help out.
Yeah. You're doing your part for the Islamic community of the
am.
United States. And I'm sure they appreciate that.
And then there's the whole Sunni and Shiite thing.
Yeah.
Does anyone know? All we can say about that is Sunni and Shiite. We don't have any context for that.
Well, it's like conservative versus liberal as far as the way they interpret the
The Quran?
The Quran.
I was thinking it was
Quran.
like Protestant and Catholic, Sunni and Shiite.
That could
Yeah.
also be true. I just pulled the conservative and liberal thing out of my butthole. I don't know.
Well, if any of our Muslim listeners, please let us know. If we have them.
I'm sure we have so many of those.
I'd comment on the Iranian military stuff all the time,
You
so hopefully one of them
You
follows.
do, because we
listen.
follow them on Twitter. The Veritas Road account follows them on Twitter.
It's a great account.
And that's fucking great.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. Damn it. All right.
Are we ready
Let's
for
talk about the
news?
shit on the news this week, folks. It has been an interesting week of news. Trump had his 100-day party, which I don't actually have an article about that, but that happened this past week, and I thought that was interesting. Did you watch that at all?
I didn't.
Okay.
Is it at Mar-a-Lago? Was it at the White House?
It's somewhere in Washington, I think. He gave like a talk, had a rally, which other presidents do, like presidential shit, right? They have like they talk on like the what's that big lawn in Washington? The American Mall or whatever, the Mall of America.
Yeah.
No,
That's that's in that's in Minnesota.
Oh,
But I
it's a
do
little
know
off.
what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, though. It's like in
The-
front of the Lincoln Memorial.
Yeah,
and all
where the
that shit.
reflecting pool
Yeah.
is. What's that called, John? That's something you would know.
Yeah, that is something you would know. If you don't know this, I'm gonna make fun of you so hard right in the butt.
In Get Smart, there was a spy in a tree by the reflecting pool, which is a great movie, by the way. Love that
John looks
movie.
like he's secretly watching like some dirty porno over there.
I'm
the way
just
he's
trying
looking.
to think of
Capitol
what the name
Mall?
of it is. I mean, it's the National Mall. It's a part of that.
Well, I called it that earlier, and Murph told me to go
No,
fuck myself.
you called it the Mall of America,
Oh.
which is not the same thing.
Okay.
And the National
I
Mall
tried.
is like the Vietnam Memorial, Lincoln Memorial, and all that good shit.
Yeah.
But I can't think
All
of
that good
I can't
shit
think
like
of-
the Vietnam Memorial.
I can't think of what that space between the Washington and Lincoln.
But we all know
Memorial-
what we're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
That's where other presidents do. Trump just has these fucking rallies where he just has like a party. And I feel like that's a great way to run a campaign, even after you've won.
Well, he's got a campaign for 2028.
Dude, yeah,
He's gotta
let's
ramp
talk about
that
that. This also is not one of our articles, but let's see if we can track down a picture of that. Eric Trump wearing a Trump 2028 hat.
Yeah. Now.
What is going on with? I know you've been touting the Trump's the last president banner for a hot minute. So I mean, what the hell do you think's going on with this?
Look, there's boys in our Congress. Andy Ogles from our district is among them. He's also trying to build a dam here, which that's never gonna happen. But anyway, he's wanting Trump to run again, to cast aside whatever amendment it was, 24th, 23rd,
22nd.
the 22nd Amendment, which came in place because of FDR.
Look at that.
23rd. I'm sorry.
Boy, wait, why is it such a terrible quality? But
Who cares?
anyway,
We can see it.
yeah, look at, and that's on the official White House store too. You can buy that hat or Trump apparel store. Excuse me. I don't know if it's the White House store, but
Trump apparel store, White House
no,
store,
it's
same
it's
thing.
like the official Trump where you can buy stuff that's officially sanctioned by Trump. That hat's on there.
Well, yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with the White House, though.
Well, he's in the White
I mean,
House.
it might as well at this point, but yeah, it's not like the White House has like a souvenir lobby or anything.
I don't know. I've never been to the White House. When we went to Washington, freaking Bush was still in it, wasn't it? It was his last bit. It
That
was.
would have been 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still Bush. It was barely Bush. Anyway, that's beside the point. He also has a Gulf of America hat.
Barely Bush. That was a name we had for a girl in 8th grade too.
Jeez, man. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't know. Who are you referring to?
It's not important.
Okay.
I also don't remember.
Well, that really derailed me. Because that was just going through every girl I knew in 8th grade.
Trump is the
going-
last president.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Constitution never expressly, we've all heard this a million times, never expressly forbade more than 2 terms.
Forbade.
It's just because George Washington was Cincinnatus and set aside his procurator status.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. He probably wasn't even real, but let's not get into that right now. So he
All right.
he was all done after 2 terms, and out of respect, everybody else did the same until FDR came along, and he got elected to the 4th. Did he start serving his 4th term and then die, or did he get elected to a 4th term and never made it to that?
I thought he started and
He
then
did at
died.
least 3 terms. He might have done 4 and died in the 4th. I can't remember.
Oh, he for sure got elected for 4. I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but did he actually serve 4? It doesn't matter. Point is, he did more than George W. Bush, and everybody was like, "Oh man, we can't have that again." So they did the whatever amendment that we're trying to.
You mean he did more than George Washington?
Yeah,
You said he did more than George W. Bush.
well, that's true as well.
That is also true. I
You
guess.
denying that?
No,
that's
I'm not denying it.
That's not what I meant, but I still said something that was correct. So we've got no problem.
That's good.
Yeah. So they set up the amendment so that could never happen again. So Trump's looking. Is he looking at taking that down, or is he looking at getting executive ways around that,
Yeah, I mean,
like
who knows?
Palpatine style?
Well, I mean, like you said, there is that section of Congress. There are at least a few. I know state representatives. I don't know about senators, but there are at least a few state representatives who are behind the bill. I don't know if it's to repeal the 23rd Amendment or if it's just to like add another amendment that says, hey, if things are shitty, we can reelect the same president.
Yeah.
You know.
Andy Ogles was to change it to where you couldn't serve more than 2 consecutive terms.
But
Or
cap it at
3
3
terms total.
Yeah.
So since
that's what it
Trump
was.
has not done 2 consecutive terms, he would get another term was the way to phrase
So
it.
how old would Trump be at the end of 2032, or at the beginning of 2033? I guess
Oh, dude, he'll be. What is he like? 78
he's
now.
78 right now. He'll be 79 June 14th.
So at the beginning of 2033.
I'm trying to. Will he be 88 by that time? That's what I'm trying to.
No,
When's he turn 88? Because that's probably when he's done.
2035.
Okay. Maybe there'd be some kind of emergency wartime powers. If he gets a 3rd term, maybe it'll be extended. I don't know.
I don't know, man. He's old as fuck.
Yeah, he's the oldest president ever.
Yeah, which is ironic given how
Well,
much the rest of us, we were all bitching about Biden being
Every
old.
elected
You know,
asterisk.
right?
Biden is obviously older, but Trump still has a long term to go.
Yeah, we're gonna assume he's gonna be the oldest president ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just it is weird how old he is considering how pissed people were about Biden. But
Well, he's clearly comes across as way more cognitive.
oh yeah, I mean far and away. Yeah. Yeah. So let's hop into this first story, John. Or just whichever one you feel like clicking on. Oh, this is a dark one to start out with. Shit. So do you know who Sam Altman is?
I just know he's one of Trump's technocrats.
So Sam Altman co-owned the company OpenAI, and I think he's either still the co-owner or sold it. I can't remember. Musk was a part of that company as well. But that was the company that built ChatGPT. Okay, Sam Altman, his company, one of his companies, has come out with a new cryptocurrency for which they had a really weird party, but it's a new like cryptocurrency and identification system where they have these like orbs that will scan your iris to make sure you are who you say you are, and they'll give you cryptocurrency for scanning your iris. It's super fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't get it. So you just get free money for scanning your eyeball?
Yeah.
So it gets you into a database. It's collecting an iris scan database?
Uh-huh.
How are they going
To try to get everyone associated with, their own personal number. Then they'll have their own identity in the database for this cryptocurrency. I can't remember what it's called. But, they just rolled it out recently and they had a little, like, party for it. And I find that super Orwellian and creepy. You're telling me I have to scan my iris to pay for something now? Like, what the fuck?
Clearly dystopian, clearly like Westworld Season 3 type crap. But how are they going to get people to do this en masse? Like, how are they going to implement this en masse?
I just told you, they're offering free crypto if you scan your iris.
Yeah, but I mean, who's going to do that, though?
All these fucking people suckling at the teat of the technocrat class who were like, oh, crypto's the best, bro. Fucking, you got to invest in crypto. And they're going to go do that because they're going to think it's cool. All the people who just, want to be seen at the bullshit, all the people looking for status being seen at the cool bullshit parties. And then if it ever does hit the mass market and this, iteration of this device, it's going to be people thinking, oh, this is super neat. I'm just going to go check it out. I'm going to look at it, Fucking baby boomers, right? People in their fucking 40s with a couple of kids who are like, oh, let me go take my son. He's into technology and shit. Let me go scan our irises, right?
Yeah,
It's going to be that sort of thing.
I don't think anybody who's got that kind of an accent is going to do this. I think best case scenario, you could get maybe 30% of the people to do this. I don't know how you open this to like the blue collar rednecks and the vast majority of America who are just living their lives in fight or flight mode.
I'll tell you. I mean, we can discuss how you make it difficult for them to spend their cash, which is already happening, right? You make it convenient to put yourself into this database, right? Give over your identity. And, I mean, there are already a fuck ton of, like, stadiums and events where they don't accept cash anymore.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do is get rid of cash entirely.
I mean, we're already headed there, man. We're already headed there. But I linked a video to the party, John. It's on the shit on the news document beneath the link for this. It's weird.
Yeah, let's watch a little bit of that. Look for some occult symbolism. I bet it's there.
So, once this dumbass ad is over.
Oh, look, a brown woman who's successful. Every ad ever.
AI model built using contextual data.
Look, Ashcat S. Callahan. All right,
skip ahead like a minute and a half, John.
Oh, whoa, was that it?
You keep going. We'll see it in a second.
That was creepy looking, whatever that was.
Right near.
Go back a touch. There's like a scene of everybody entering the building. Maybe it's farther along. Keep going. Oh, there. Oh, your mouse was just over it a second ago. Skip ahead like 20 seconds.
Flashy event by space near the San Francisco Bay. The space
a lot of circles, a lot of orbs.
Iris scanning orbs for attendees to verify their humanness if they wanted to. The keynote itself lasted about 45 minutes with both co-founders Alex Blania and Sam Altman giving us the latest updates on all aspects of this company. The cryptocurrency, the orbs, and many partnerships that they were able to form since the launch.
All right, so the keynote just wrapped up, and we finally met up with Alex. I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions about what happened today. So he's going to do the whole recap for the event, and I hope you can hear us because it is very loud in here. It is very loud.
There's the orb. And I guess they have like phones that do it too.
The biggest thing by far today was the U.S. launch of WorldCoin, right? So you go back to when I first got my eye scanned actually in Los Angeles. This was in 2023. There was no token. You couldn't get it in the U.S. They wouldn't really say why. But at the time, the SEC was being very litigious against crypto startups. They were getting sued left and right. And there still isn't any clear regulatory framework around crypto. But what's shifted, obviously, is the Trump administration, right? You've got David Sachs. You've got a lot of people in the White House who are now wanting to be friendly to crypto.
And this guy's fucking exactly right. Like, there are a ton of technocrats surrounding Trump now. It's super creepy. It's like the inception of Big Brother almost.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and Elon is culprit numero uno on that, but there's a whole bunch more. Larry Ellison, this Sam guy who looks like just like he's not even real. And how do you get to be 39 and be he's a front man. There's no way he did any of this by himself. But so yeah, super creepy, man. That just the orb itself has got like just like sci-fi dystopian vibes.
Yeah.
Like you should never have to interact with that to do any kind of commerce. You should just be able to shake somebody's hand, not scan a freaking demon orb that radiates matrix code.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right.
I don't know. Who knows what's coming?
This is the whole thing that, like, this is how you capture people, is you make it financially advantageous. Like, all the people who made a ton of money on crypto, right? It was financially advantageous for them to get in there, start either invest in Bitcoin, invest in, Ethereum or whatever the fuck people are investing in now, and start trading it back. And you make it financially advantageous. You make it difficult to spend cash. Like, this is how it starts.
Yeah.
This is exactly how it fucking starts.
It's a Hegelian dialectic, right? Problem, reaction, solution. They make the problem by inflating the U.S. dollar and then introduce this, allegedly non-centralized, non-controllable, blockchain BS that still has no value, no real value other than alleged scarcity. But, I mean, you can't tell me Google can't just be like, get in their computers, get all their Indians and their Asians together and make a Bitcoin. I guarantee you they can do that. Just and people, their only argument is, oh, they can't. That's their argument. I was like, you don't freaking know that. Google has unlimited servers, unlimited money, unlimited this, unlimited that. I guarantee you Google's behind Bitcoin, or, you know, some iteration of the government is behind Bitcoin somehow. Now, I don't have any proof for that. I have just seen over and over again the way these people do business. Again, problem, reaction, solution. They're in this allegedly replacing slowly this old antiquated system that people are tired of. They're giving you a Orwellian social credit score system that they describe perfectly and show perfectly in Westworld Season 3. Also with that will be the rise of the gig economy, which we're already seeing with like freaking Uber and you know, all this different you know, stuff, and there's going to be centralized systems for all of it eventually.
Right. Well, what's so freaky about this is it's tied to a physical identity. Like, it is tied to a scan of your eye. Most crypto is not. It's tied to some kind of online identity, like a number you put in a system or a username.
Right.
But it's not scanned to. It's not scanned. It's not tied to you as a person. This is physically tied to you, and that is disconcerting at the very least.
Look, even more. I agree with you, man. And even more, like, big picture. They've been talking about this. Revelation 13 has talked about this over and over and over again, right? We all hear about the mark of the beast, but we just say, oh, mark of the beast, Antichrist, devil. But what it actually says is you're not going to be able to buy or sell without something on your forehead or your hand, or maybe your right hand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going farther and farther to that. It's like they're trying to play out Revelation 13.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Really demonic and creepy.
Ugh.
So.
All right, that made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, and obviously, probably our listeners are not going to want any part of this, but.
Well, sure.
So, I don't know.
But
I don't know. Let's go to mine. Let's go to my first one. All right, this is hilarious, boys. Look at this image. Oh, not that image. Oh, I guess it's not on here.
Oh,
I guess it was too offensive.
It's farther down.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, yes. His holiness, his Trumpiness.
His Holiness,
what would
Donald.
Yeah. What would Pope Donald the 88th? This is wonderful. Go to the article, John. Like, this article is just so funny because they're acting like it's disrespectful.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a couple things I want to point out from this. Number one, who gives an F? Nobody cares.
Right.
All right, that's obvious. The Pope is some kind of reptilian demon. I bet not even the Catholics care.
Well, look, I think I actually disagree with you a little bit on that score, because every time, at least for me and the people I associate with are concerned, every time a child molester dies, I get super fucking upset. I cried for a week, when Epstein died. So, this is very sad and very disrespectful that he would try to, pretend to be someone as prestigious as the Pope. How dare he?
Yeah, some kind of just freaking demon. Look up the Jesus getting blown up by a nuclear bomb. That's a sculpture in the Pope's personal chapel.
It's fucked.
It's like really creepy. Not to mention all the obelisk all over Vatican City. Anyway, go down.
It's just art.
Go down a little bit. Yeah, it's just expression.
Right. Oh, all right. This is a good place to hang out.
A woman doing yoga.
Some lady with her ass in the air.
All right. Wait a minute. Go up a little bit, John. Go up. Go up.
What the fuck?
Oh, there was a point. All right, go down. There was specific language that I wanted to point out, but I'm not seeing it anymore. Go down. Go down a little more. Is it over? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. Look at this journalism right here.
What?
One user commented. What the F is this?
A user commented, okay?
How?
She's quoting the user.
That is the dumbest crap I have ever seen in my life. One user comment. I mean, you could say that that user could be a cat walking on a keyboard. That's just so stupid that people that is an acceptable source.
Yeah,
acceptable to put in the news.
Right.
I just couldn't believe that.
That is tantamount to taking a journalistic shit all over this article.
Yeah.
No one should ever quote anyone commenting under a post. That is hilarious.
And they didn't even name it.
While another bluntly questioned, Trump, have you lost your mind? Despite Trump limiting comments on his post.
Oh my goodness. Look at those sources.
Yes.
One user and another that's commented.
Yeah.
And you put that in quotes.
Yeah.
Just The low.
And I personally find it very offensive because, I mean, I'm not personally Catholic. I don't, like, observe any of the Catholic holidays, like Hanukkah or anything. But my family's fucking Catholic, and they go to, like jihad and shit, you know? And I fucking, like, I respect my family. My mother's a good person.
Oh, they attend jihad every June 18th. Or maybe that's what Juneteenth is. Is Juneteenth secretly a jihad day? Have they infiltrated us that far?
Jeez. I'm not touching that one.
Oh, gosh, man. I just thought it was hilarious. And the last thing I wanted to say, you know, Pope Francis died at 88, and Trump is associated with
Holy
88.
Really?
Yeah, so just the
Gosh.
there's got to be connections there too.
Yeah, I mean, he also died on the, mythical anniversary of the founding of Rome.
Of Rome? Oh, I thought you said
Yep.
rum for a second, and I got real excited.
Yeah,
but,
Romulus
Rome.
and Remus, baby. Romulus and Remus, the wolf people.
And this Pope death did seem to be a little bit more publicized than when was the last one?
Benedict.
Yeah.
I think he was, but he resigned before he died. I think John Paul was the last pope that died as a pope.
Okay.
Yeah, but who gives?
I just don't remember it being as big a deal last time. But.
Well, J.D. Vance killed him. J.D. Vance is when you watch the
allegedly.
when you watch the anime show Demon Slayer, J.D. Vance can now claim that crown. He is the Demon Slayer. That needs to be how the show ends, is some animated version of J.D. Vance taking down the Pope.
The Pope is super freaky.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys see the image of his, funeral where they had him starting at first?
No,
Wait,
okay.
what?
I got to pull
John?
it. So, where they had him, in the first few days of his funeral, where they had his
Talking to your
body.
damn mic.
Robert will pick up on this.
No,
probably
you
pretty
have to
damn
say
quickly.
you have to say that they have its body. That's no
Its
he.
body.
They had him starting it first. That didn't make any sense to me.
Well, where they started, I can't remember the name of the.
Talking to your mic, John. You keep talking on the side.
I can't remember the name of the specific place, but they start him at one place and they move him.
Yeah.
I gotta find the image.
The procession.
Yeah.
It's like carrying the Olympic torch, but with a dead body.
Right.
Yeah. So this is where they had him started. And what do you notice about this?
I can't see crap.
He's opening a bigger one. Dead air.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Look at the ceiling.
I mean, it's triangles. Square. It's a square. Is it a
Oh
square?
yeah, dude. Oh yeah. That's the.
How many degrees though? It might not be a square. That could be a stretch. Look, I know I'm the conspiracy skeptic in here, but to say that seems like a bold claim.
It looks like the 47-degree angle of the square and compass.
If that's 47 degrees, I'll give it to you. Some fucking. We're gonna figure this out.
Look how weird the Swiss guards are, though.
I want to know what that thing says.
That's Latin, man.
No shit.
So who knows? I mean, we ain't.
The Swiss guards are. What the fuck are they? You know, that's strange.
And look what kind of weapons they're carrying.
Halberds? I think those are halberds.
I would always. Okay. Yeah, I have some of those in Legos. I always called them halberds, but I guess you don't say the L.
I did say the L. I said halberd.
Hole is a U.
Halberd.
Not Hal.
Halberd.
Your uncle. You had an Uncle Hal. You don't call him Uncle Hull.
No.
Right? So why wouldn't you not say Halberd?
Because that's not how it's pronounced.
Whatever, doesn't matter. It's weird as heck. They look like some kind of demon clowns with their some kind of demon jouster clowns.
It's strange.
Yeah, man. It's all effed up. And the Pope wears. It's not that little yarmulke hat that red guy's wearing, but when he's got his Dagon hat, it's like the fish god Dagon.
Yeah.
It's like Santa hat, but it's you know what hat I'm talking about.
Like a Santa hat. I guess that fair enough.
Yeah. So it's all creepy, all demonic. Whatever. He's dead. Another demon gone. So, no skin off my bones.
So much sympathy.
All right, give us another one.
Very sweet. Very sweet. What is this? I don't even remember this.
Well, you put it on there.
I know.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
John,
so-
you're gonna give me a fucking
oh.
seizure.
Sorry.
Jeez. Oh my! There's still people. We're not gonna spend much time on this, but there are still people coming out talking about the fact that Biden was out of his mind. Somebody wrote a damn book about it, and it seems I just one of the things that bothers the hell out of me is if there was ever a time when it was obvious that no one who reportedly is running this ship, it's now. Like, there was no way Biden had any say in what the fuck was going on during his term, right? Trump's obviously an outsider, or maybe not. But my point is, like, the deep, whatever you want to think the deep state is, some orange or old guy in an office doesn't have shit to do with it. It's never been more obvious than it has been the past 3 years. And the fact that people are still talking about it like it fucking matters blows my mind.
Yeah, man, the whole Biden thing is a real deep rabbit hole when you start looking into it, like hardcore looking into it, because during his time they took the D.C. out of Washington.
They did, yeah, that was weird.
Like, he was allegedly there's some crap about like the White House not being listed as his official residence, like it was with all the other presidents. And anybody with brain can see that there was like 12 different Bidens. Sometimes there was an Asian looking Biden. Sometimes there was Biden who had like weirder ears. It was like different actors in a mask, okay? And nobody in their right mind think that there was a guy named Joseph Biden who was running the United States. Not even the normies believe that.
I mean, even the normies will tell you, like, there's no way that guy has anything to do with what's going on. Yeah.
I mean, the very least conspiracy, the very, very least is that it was Kamala. Okay, I guess you could say. But
does anybody think that even?
But I doubt it.
Yeah.
But even if you do think that, that means the entire sanctity of everything you were told in elementary school and middle school and crap and social studies is a lie.
Yeah.
Just openly. To the normies. Never mind what's actually going on. There's 15 different Biden clones out there running around like freaking robots.
Right.
And falling off their bike and crap, and then Jill has to lead it
into
the
hilarious.
bathroom to shut it down, take the battery out. Like that, like the guy from Parks and Rec that just stares at the wall.
Oh, the congressman in Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's revelation of the Biden was in Parks and Rec. That's probably he got killed after that. That was probably the last time. The last time Joseph Biden was alive was when it talked to Amy Poehler. After that, they had to clone it over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
I'm making that claim right here, right now on the Veritas Road.
Bold. So when that comes out in 40 years, you'll be
hashtag clonade.
Yeah.
Look into it. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a joke. It's a freaking joke.
Yeah, I just saw that and it triggered me. So that's it. Let's move on.
Yeah, so my next one, Trump had some really interesting comments, and there's probably multiple layers on them. Let's look at them here. So everybody knows, like, Trump's all about the deportation, right? He's always like, get these illegals out of here, right? That's to summarize his position.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was asked about, like, these long, because under the Fifth Amendment, everybody's got to have due process, right?
Right.
And, like, even getting these illegals out of here, but don't they have rights to a trial?
That makes sense.
But Trump was like, I don't know if they do or not, right? It'll slow up the whole process of getting those illegals out of here if you have to set 3 million trials. But
that is a good point as far as the practicality of it's concerned.
All right, but and go down a little bit, John. Let's see. Go down. Screw you, Marco Rubio.
That was
go down a little bit.
Uncalled for.
Right here.
Context
Right here. This is I found this pretty interesting here. The Constitution's Fifth Amendment says no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, blah 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 blah. It does not say that the person must be a U.S. citizen, and the Supreme Court has long recognized that non-citizens are certain. I just wonder if Trump is aware of the fact of the game of the U.S. citizen game.
Why is that?
Right, because if you're a U.S. citizen, you have to abide by all this crap, right? But if you're not, you can potentially operate outside of the Constitution, I guess. I'm just wondering if this is speaking to Trump's potential knowledge of the how the Constitution has been wormed out of through like the 10th Amendment and the 14th Amendment and the corporate fiction stuff. Because it's just, why would any president ever say that?
Yeah, well,
See what I'm
people
trying
have
to get
no
at?
context for what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, the U.S. is a corporate fiction. The United States is different than the United States of America. The Constitution, anything it ever stood for, went down with the creation of the 14th Amendment and the Civil War.
The suggestion is that the U.S. is a corporation, whereas the United States of America is the actual country we live in.
Right.
And if you identify yourself as a citizen, you're identifying yourself as an employee or ward of the corporation of the United States.
Correct.
And as such, you're giving up the rights you would have as an actual free person
under the Constitution.
Right.
Yeah. Which is just super interesting because why would Trump ever say this?
It is odd. I mean, from a mainstream perspective, the idea is it's just not practical to give people who you already know are illegal a trial, right? The flip side of that is, even from a mainstream perspective, like, every person has basic rights. We need to figure out whether or not they actually are here, illegally or whatever it happens to be. Because, I mean, you could, maybe you just look funny and I want you out of here. Maybe I'm your neighbor and I don't like you, so I call ICE to get you the fuck out of here, and you're brown, so we're just gonna send you on your way, and that is fucked.
And how like counterintuitive is this to his base, who's all about like, heck yeah, Constitution, America, we've got rights. It just seems to me like maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's aware of the loophole and he is being honest and he doesn't freaking know. I don't know.
That's possible.
Just struck me as odd. It's just an odd thing to say, and it also like panders or caters. I don't know which one's the right word, but caters to the people that like Trump's going to be a dictator. He's going to overthrow the Constitution. This could be more programming to that. Just him throwing out these comments.
It does seem to be. I will agree with that. Whether he's doing that, whether that's being done on purpose or that's the way it's just being spun, who knows? But.
Right.
But that does really play into that. Well, I mean, especially on NBC of all places.
Just interesting comments. That's all I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
Who knows what his intentions are or what he meant by it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's odd. All right.
Something to be aware of, I guess.
Yeah. Jeez.
What's your next one?
Let's look. I don't remember. I put way too many up this week.
Oh, man.
What?
I'm just reading it. That's sad. Nike sponsors the Vols. We need to go back to Adidas. Dadgummit.
Tell me this isn't creepy. So, Nike, it sounds like has been. I don't know if this video has anything to do with the article, John. Actually, I listened to the video. I can't remember if it did or not. But Nike has been sponsoring transgender studies on teens and young adults. And if that wasn't creepy enough, they're trying to deny it now. So the person who wrote this article tried to reach out and question them, and they either haven't responded
this
or have
is freaking
denied
Clay Travis, dude. He's a Vol.
all allegations of but yeah, just cut in there. That's good. It's fine.
Oh no, sorry. Just Clay Travis is one of. He's in Tennessee. He's one of us.
Okay.
Two things with what you said there. Number one, where are they doing this? Like in America?
I don't know.
Or in China?
It was not delineated in the study.
Because
in the article where this was happening.
They've allegedly got all this child labor stuff in China, so it wouldn't surprise me if they were not only doing transgender studies. I bet they're freaking doing transgender experiments on all these people in China that have no, retribution. Like they're just
they're not able to. They have no rights.
So I mean, Lord knows what they're doing to their people over there.
Yeah.
I mean, Nike's a billions and billions, and it's a gigantic company. So they probably have, not only in America, unlimited resources, but even in, like I said, like China or Pakistan or Bangladesh or wherever they're operating, they have even less oversight and probably just doing whatever the heck they want to.
Yeah.
And people are just like, oh, just do it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that bothered me, is the article.
John's wearing a Nike hat
Son
right
of
now.
A bitch.
Keep going.
That's great.
Sorry, I just had to point it out.
Gosh. All right.
One of the weird things that bothered you, the article.
Fuck. I don't know now. That is a giant pet peeve of mine. So, what the fuck was I saying? John, it's a great Nike hat. I love it. You look sexy.
Thank you.
Like to touch
Appreciate
you
it.
inappropriately.
All right.
One of the things that one of the things that bothered the shit out of me was in the article it talks about how son of a bitch. Fuck, I can't remember. Damn it.
You acted like you did.
I don't.
Remember
Yeah,
that.
I was. I thought I was on it. Yeah, fuck it. All right, move on to the next damn thing. Gosh.
Sorry.
Ah.
I'm trying to be more cognizant of that. Clearly, I failed that time.
It's fine.
Did you want me to lighten it with a fun fact?
What?
Nike is the Greek goddess of victory.
Okay. I mean, that's a good. That's a good.
Does that make you feel victorious in a bad situation that I caused?
It's fine. That is not. This is not directed towards you now, but that is something that I wonder about in public because I see this all the time. No, like people don't shut the fuck up and listen. Like, what is the deal with that? What do you think the deal is? Because I noticed that at work, or like even in my personal life, not just here, but like all over. Like, most people are not capable of not butting in constantly.
Yeah, I'm bad about
What
that.
is going on with that?
I'm bad about that, obviously. I know,
And that's something that I seem to be strangely cognizant of. I realize I was trying to finish the thought.
I
but
deserve it.
it's something that I tend to be strangely cognizant of. And I don't know if that's just like me being weird or if that, like.
I know for me, like, I don't necessarily think, and probably for most people, it's not like malicious intent that they just don't care what you have to say.
No.
But like you say something and then that triggers something in your brain and then you think of what you're going to say to what you heard. And while you're thinking of what you're going to say to what you heard, you're not listening to the things that came after the thing that triggered you.
Right.
That's probably why.
So just impatience?
Yeah. Or maybe it's impatience, or maybe it's linked to like dropping attention spans. Same reason for why people have to watch shorts. It could be linked to how attention spans just dropped. Maybe it's correlated to the lack of reading. Maybe people who read more books. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. People who read more books can listen better. I don't know. You're absolutely right, though, and I'm the world's worst about it, clearly.
Well, I mean, I know people who are much worse about it than you. I just I had noticed that at work the other week. We were trying to have a meeting, and like no one could finish a damn. Like, it was super. Meetings are already super unproductive in the corporate world, right? But it was further unproductive because nobody could finish a fucking thought. I was like, what are we doing here? If you're not going to shut up and let whoever's talking just finish what they're saying.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a useless gesture.
Yeah. There's also the element of, and I find this in myself as well, people who are pretty good at pattern recognition being like, oh, I already know what you're going to say. So I'm going to comment on what I think you're going to say.
I mean, that's true.
And it's probably, I mean, to be fair, it's probably right a lot of times.
Yeah, no, it generally is.
But it's still, like you said, annoying. And, yeah, just got to be self-disciplined about not doing that. But everybody's trying to get their 15 seconds of talk in at the same time because there's just so many different voices and so many different things going on that you just want a little bit of something here. I don't know.
Well, that's what I wonder about, and not to move us away from what we're here for, but like I wonder if so many people are just used to not being listened to by anybody that they feel like they have to just, like get a word in edgewise constantly.
Yeah, you're on something there, and that could be tied to being like raised as a kid. How if you never felt listened to, you would just as a kid have to get your piece out when you had the chance. So as an adult, since you like haven't processed any of that and understand why you're doing that, you just do that because that's how you had to survive as a kid to get your voice heard. So there's probably some elements of psychological elements of that as well.
Yeah, maybe.
You just take your chance when you have it. You got to do it, otherwise you're not going to get the chance. That doesn't make it right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that I just find it's not that I find it offensive necessarily. I just find it's just bothersome. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's something I'm bad at.
Oh, you're not bad about it.
Because I'll be like,
speaking,
I will be processing what someone is saying while they're still talking, and I don't know how not to do that.
That's why I keep a notepad if I need to write stuff down.
I can remember everything they said, but I don't know.
All right, moving on to the next
Yeah,
article. Sorry.
what's next? We went off on a way tangent there. Well, it was my fault, but temps to rise next Thursday. Okay.
That's exciting.
All right. Oh, dude, yeah, this is crazy, man. All right, so Lady Gaga, that she-demon. Look at that demon.
It's gross.
She's in Brazil. All right. And there was some father and son that was planning to take a bomb and Molotov cocktails and cause havoc.
Jeez.
But you know what? They didn't. They got foiled.
Oh.
So that's how you know that there was probably an actual father and son who were probably actually going to carry this out because the law enforcement caught them. All right? Now, if it was fake, if it was something like Trump assassination round 1, if it was something like this redneck white trash going into the governor's house in Pennsylvania, they would have let it happen, and then they would have claimed hate. So I think this is real. I think this actually happened. And it's just ironic how you see what my point is?
So this is like an anti-conspiracy?
Right. This is a validation.
Yeah.
I think this is real because they got caught. Because of the Orwellian superstate that exists everywhere in the westernized world. And I also want to point out how freaking creepy Lady Gaga is.
Lady Gaga's creepy as shit.
I mean, look that one right there with the Roman pillars and her in the white dress, and like what the heck? What the heck, man? What does that have to do with Poker Face? and freaking what else is she sing? Paparazzi. What? Tell me what that Greek god on that Ionian pillar has to do with the paparazzi? Nothing. All right, it's all a cult.
That's the Greek god, paparazzi.
Yeah.
He's the god of obnoxious flashes. I don't know.
Yeah, there was 2.1 million people at this concert too, allegedly.
That's
insane.
insane.
Just madness.
2.1 million. That's bullshit.
That's what it said.
I'm calling bullshit.
Look, go down right there.
Jeez.
Wait, no, go up. Go. Didn't it say? It said in one of these how many people were there.
Under one of the pictures.
I thought it did.
John, scroll back up to the pictures.
He's scrolling so fast that I can't read it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, 2.1 million people. Allegedly.
Jeez.
I wouldn't have just pulled that out of my butthole. I thought I read that. Yeah, that's just crazy, man. I mean, that's a third of Tennessee. Yeah, imagine if all of East Tennessee went to a Lady Gaga concert.
I mean that. I have no part of me can understand why you would ever want to do that. Those have to be the same people who like buy Taylor Swift albums, right? Like that same kind of person, I assume. I don't know. But you're saying that because they got caught, that means that they were real?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
So it's not possible for somebody to plan something like that and not get caught? Like what's your greater point there? Cause
not something that big. Like if there's 2.1 million people at an event and you're going to plan to cause terror or be a terrorist, because I would describe what they were trying to do as terrorism, right? They're going to freaking catch you.
See, I would suggest
if you or I, all right, let's take the Avett brothers for example.
Uh-huh.
All right, they're going to be in Huntsville this weekend.
Right.
All right, if you and I were going to conspire and get together and somehow, sneak a bomb in there and cause chaos and like blow up the western side of the amphitheater, we would get caught. I bet the FBI can listen to this right now and like through certain AIs, and it could trigger certain things, and it could like appear, and they could analyze it and determine if it's a threat or not. I literally think they have that technology. How does anything that, if it's above a certain threshold, or if it triggers X amount of people are going to be at this event, or X amount of money went into the event, surely they have AI that can trigger a warning system to be at least looked at. That's what I think.
I hope that's not the case. It's creepy as fuck.
I mean, dude, have you ever seen The Minority Report with Tom Cruise in it?
No.
It's based off a Philip K. Dick story where they have an entire department of law enforcement devoted to stopping crime. It's stopping future crimes, and based on analytics and stuff, they can and like psychics, they can stop you before a crime is committed. It's crazy.
I mean, that's fucked.
I'm just saying.
If anything, I would suggest that it's more likely with the mass of people that it'd be more likely that they'd be able to get away with something like that.
Then how'd they get caught?
Well, right. Sure.
I mean, what you're failing to consider could just be an entrapment scheme.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, you think about back a couple of years ago when those people, like, allegedly got caught planning to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer.
What?
Yeah, the FBI entrapped all of these people into formulating this plot to kidnap the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. Is like most of the people involved in this plot, like the vast majority of them were FBI agents, and it was like 2 or 3 guys who were not, and they got convinced to do it by FBI agents. So it's like this could 100% just be an entrapment scheme to just be like, hey, we planned this attack, and then we caught the people who, we convinced to plan it to, as a propaganda machine to just, drum ourselves up and look how great we are. Look how we keep you safe.
Yeah, I suppose that's possible too. But that's still them being caught. Like, do you think independent... I guess what I'm asking is... and number one, I do not condone this, but it is an interesting thought exercise. Are independent acts of terror, do those actually happen?
I mean, probably they actually happen, but is like they're either allowed, like at minimum they're allowed to, right?
Yeah, I just don't see how anything gets past their radar, like on a big scale. Obviously, like some freaking bar fight where if 20 people get, but like on a Lady Gaga concert, are you kidding me? Like there's probably like the security and detail and planning that goes into all that. Same thing for Trump. That's why it's so unbelievably ridiculous.
Yeah.
If they can catch potential bombers in Brazil, right, which is some kind of like, cartel run like mafia place, as opposed to catching some crazy antisocial incel climbing a tin roof 100 feet from Trump, the imbalance there is just insane to me.
You're describing like the meme, whereas like people just like say the words. It's like he was on your radar, wasn't you? Like the FBI says that all the time about big events. It's like they were on our radar, but we just hadn't connected the dots yet. So it's like 100%. Like maybe some of these instances are independent individuals, but it's like the authorities that be know they exist and they kind of allow these events to play out the way that they want them to play out. So it's like, if this is making, I mean, the Sun is kind of a shit, what's the word that I'm looking for? Tabloid. But it's like, if this is making like this big in the news, it's like it's probably hit or miss if this was like independent actors or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, as far as that goes, you've really got one of a couple of options. Either A, like the FBI, whatever government organization you want to attribute catching or not catching them to, is just as incompetent as some people suggest they are, right? Some people talk about how incompetent some high-level government organizations are. B, they're patsies, right? So they're unaware that they're doing something and they're going to get caught later, or C, they're plants. Those are your only options.
I guess we'll move off of this. My whole point is, you hear about these amazing things, like John said, like this. I'd never heard of this, but these amazing like ruses where there's a bunch of FBI agents that get people on these plots. They create fake plots to arrest people.
And they straight up entrap people.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. They have all this amazing sophistication to catch people. They catch people all the time, and then you've got some idiot who takes pot shots at Trump at a golf course from a shrub.
Right.
Right? That kind of stuff, my point is that kind of stuff happens because they want to.
Yeah.
These people's resources are unlimited. If they want to find you, they will. If they know about everything, and the only reason stuff is happening is because they want it to happen. That's my point.
Well, the question there then is, did he miss on purpose? Right?
Was there even a gunshot?
Yeah. Right. And that's where it gets a little bit murky. Because if he did, then that implicates Trump as a member of that society. If he missed on purpose, or if there wasn't a shot, right?
Yeah, if he, had some kind of blood packing in his ear. I don't know. That whole thing is super ritualistic and messed up, and I don't know. I just don't believe anything anymore. And just
It's fair.
all right. What's your next one?
Hell if I know. Let's look. Oh, what the hell is that?
I don't know. It's under the same category of
Yeah.
the one before, so I don't know if it's separate. Okay, no, it's not. It's
Ooh,
different.
That was super loud there. You're okay. All right.
Scroll down, John. Oh, I was just going to point out, we already talked about bullshit journalism, but ESPN's Stephen A. Smith wanted to come out and let everyone know he was aghast at Trump supporting his presidential run, his possible presidential run. He just wants to let everyone in the media know that he's not okay with the fact that Trump thinks it might be okay that he runs for president. And I think that's super gay.
Yeah, I saw that he was Stephen A. Smith was considering running, like he was some kind of virtuous saint, like he had to step in and save things because
Right.
he was getting too big. He is so important that he might have to step in
Right.
and solve whatever problems there is.
What kind of bullshit savior complex do you have
Yeah,
if that's
man.
what you think?
Think about, he takes himself so seriously. I can't stand anything he says.
I don't even know who he is.
He's the black guy on ESPN who just has all these crazy hot takes. You know, him and freaking Skip Bayless are just insane, narcissistic, insane people.
Why are people from CNN, ESPN commenting on politics anyway?
Oh, they're all
What the
about
hell?
it, man. ESPN's owned by Disney for one, which is like a mega like. I don't even have to say it.
Aggressively liberal.
Yeah, part of the global propaganda machine
Yeah.
times 10 million.
Right.
You know, we're all about inequality. We're all about standing with this. I mean, that's why the NFL taking such a huge hit. And sports in general. I mean, people don't want that in their sports. They just want to watch football. They don't want to watch people kneeling for the flag or people with purple hair out there running around saying they're gay. They just want to watch football. They just want to watch the Tennessee Titans screw every single free agent signing they've ever had and suck. All right? They just want to watch us give our best players to the Eagles. They just want to watch the Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowls. They just want to watch Tom Brady lose.
They want to
All
see
right?
Taylor Swift.
That's right. I even think people are getting sick of her, honestly.
I think they are, yeah.
We don't want that in our football, in our baseball, in our basketball.
No, I mean, it's
Well-
supposed to be a distraction. Let's not fucking talk about politics. Although, I'd take this over baseball. I'll say that.
Yeah, baseball's really boring. I agree.
All right.
Yeah,
That's all I
Who
have for you.
cares what Stephen A. Smith has to say?
Right.
Who gives a crap?
Uh,
Oh, dude, this one's hilarious, man. This is hilarious. So, eventually, this is kind of what the thing I want to do with my special segment. Like you got yours.
yeah.
I want to go over science theme articles. So, let's look at this. Let's read this for a little bit. Go
Okay.
down a little bit. All right, go down, John, to pass this first picture.
Well, let's read the title of the article first.
Doubts over signs of alien life on exoplanet K2-18b arising. This is evidence of the scientific process at work. We're scientists.
People are doing science.
We question each other.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's go down. Let's go down. Look at this. Look at this. Go up. Go up. Go to this picture. An illustration of what K2-18b may look like.
Yeah.
So, it's a freaking cartoon, just like everything else they've ever sent you in your whole life. When it's not a cartoon, it's 3 pixels, and the resolution is like from a 1967 computer that takes up 4 basements.
Because
Okay?
it's 3 pixels. Yeah.
Right? All right. Recently, a University of Cambridge. I mean, this is so ridiculous. So they say, oh, we found evidence. We found evidence of life. And who cares how they found it or what the evidence is? Because this is Oxford versus Cambridge, too. This is kind of like Harvard versus Yale, but for English people. Smart people fighting with each other. All right, Cambridge says X, but Oxford doesn't think it's right.
Ooh.
First of all,
Upper crust controversy.
let's point out 2 things here. First thing, let's look at John. The second link under that heading is the link to the Wikipedia article of this. So this alleged planet is 24 light years from Earth.
That's it? 24?
Do you know how?
124 light years. away from
120,
Earth.
whatever. You know how much a light year is in miles? It's freaking 5.8 billion miles.
It's a long way.
So you multiply 5.8 billion by 124, and that's how many miles away this alleged planet is. All right, number one, the fastest thing that we have ever seen ever, that we can travel. And this is just alleged because I don't believe, because it looks like a freaking balloon, and it's just ridiculous. But these space shuttles, what do they go, like 24,000 miles an hour, allegedly?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. I mean, let's just say you could go 100,000 miles an hour. That's faster than anything man has ever invented ever. How many years would it take to travel to this planet?
A long-ass time.
Like 50 million lifetimes. Okay, so why the heck are we pouring resources into looking at this? There's nothing we could ever gain from this ever. It would take basically an infinite amount of generations to ever even make it to look at whatever this is, even if there is life there. So what's the point of in pouring resources into this? This is just to capture people's fantasy, to launder money, because who knows how people are actually getting rich from this, like through people's wages, through grants to these businesses that do other things. I mean, it's money laundering is what this is, and this is to satiate. This article is to satiate people to think we're doing crap. All right, so that's round one, the impossibility of ever even going to this alleged place.
Yeah, I mean,
even in their model. Even in their model, it's impossible. Not to mention that space is not real, and that there's a gigantic dome at 62.5 miles that's impenetrable that they tried to blow up in the 1950s called Operation Fishbowl. Anyway.
Well, there's a picture of the atmosphere right there. So.
You could take a picture of the atmosphere?
Yeah.
I thought it was made of air. I thought air was clear.
Nope, there's a picture of the atmosphere.
But it ionizes in the thermosphere because of sun. It ionizes. So that's how you know it's there.
Right.
Because we can take a picture of ionization.
Right.
If oh my gosh, dude, it's so stupid. It's just ridiculous how stupid that is. And then,
John, you son of a bitch.
The second point. Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, you got to throw that 33 in there, because they gotta whack each other off at the lodge. In their coffins, in their sun coffins. Oh my gosh, dude! I'm feeling a rant coming along.
That's okay.
The second point is a lot more psychological and a lot more devious, because they act like the scientific method is at work and how this article is presented. Right. Because you've got, Cambridge saying that, that we've got all this data that suggests life, and then you've got Oxford coming out with all this data questioning it, and then the article, if you go on and read it, it like promotes the Oxford skepticism, be like, hey, look, this is healthy skepticism, science. We've got science going on here. Right. So to the layman science believer, they will think, oh, good, we've got skepticism, we've got scientific method, all that going on, and you just glance past the fact that every single one of these underlying assumptions are not being looked at. Almost all of them have been disproven, all right? But through logical progress that have been disproven. But just the fact that you have the illusion of skepticism keeps the belief alive. And that is way more psychological or devious or deceptive, in my opinion, than the blatant impossibility of it, even within their own paradigm. It's just to get people saying, oh, yeah, science is science, and moving on. It's just ridiculous, man. Because, the Earth doesn't move. Right there. The Earth does not move. They proved that in 1887. So the entire Copernican principle is washed away. There's your science right there. Go back and look at that assumption. Go back and test that independently. Oh, they did. Oh, problem is it didn't show what they want to show, so they had to come up with relativity and say that you can, bend, bend an ideal.
Okay.
So, I don't know, what are your thoughts on it? Agree, disagree?
Well, you've made many points in the last however long. If it is the case that this is legitimately going on, it's good that people are questioning, But I think one of the things we can all be certain of is that the higher levels of academia, as this claims to be, they end up being just straight up country clubs, to address the first thing you were discussing, right? The problem that you have with this article is that the writer is suggesting that what we consider to be the scientific method is going on because people at Oxford are saying one thing and people at Cambridge are saying, no, that's not the case. Or, sorry, it was vice versa, right? People at Cambridge are saying one thing and people at Oxford are saying, no, that's not the case. Our research suggests the opposite, right? But in general, the fact of the matter is, whatever research you want to look at, bullshit or not, nobody's replicating this stuff. Nobody's reading through it and thinking about it intelligently. People are just signing off on it and saying, fucking great, move on, you know? Or in this case, sure, it's Oxford and Cambridge, okay? How many regular who is going to be able to sit down, okay, and have the tools, whether they can do the math or not is borderline immaterial at this point, have the actual physical tools to be able to figure out if their figures are accurate or complete bullshit. Like, you can't even confirm that these people are seeing what they say they're seeing. It's impossible. You don't have the stuff to do it. It's impossible to collect that amount of resources unless you're a fucking billionaire.
I mean, and even if you did have the stuff, it would take you 50 million lifetimes to get to this place. To look at this. Look how insane this is.
Yeah.
Jake Taylor of the University of Oxford, who studies atmosphere of exoplanet, used a basic statistical test to identify the telltale signs of gas molecules in the atmosphere of the exoplanet at hand. So did Jake Taylor get in his Buzz Lightyear spaceship, or in his Millennium Falcon warp drive, and travel 154 trillion light years to this place and grab a little bit and put it in a mason jar and come back and take it to Oxford and have all their people in lab coat poke and prod at it?
Right.
It's freaking insane that anybody could ever make it. It's insane, man. It's freaking numbers in a computer. It's freaking. You put this crap. You see this crap in your telescope that's already connected to 50 computers. Okay. You probably can't even see this in an actual telescope. All right, but in a James Webb telescope, it costs $20 trillion. You see 8 pixels of X. All right, and because you see 8 pixels, you put that in a computer, and then it tells you it's made of neon. I just don't understand how. There's anyone who can study this.
Well, okay, the spectrometry, I think, legitimately would track if it were like here in a controlled environment, right? But move on to the next sentence, okay? Taylor did this in such a way that the test didn't assume which gases might be present, for one. They're claiming because sulfur was present in this atmosphere, right? But he did it in a way that doesn't assume which gases might be present. Instead, there are distinct bumps that indicate the presence of detectable gas molecules. So they're saying, hey, there might be gas 120-something light years away. So, and this is based on a statistical model that somebody made up. So we can already call bullshit on that. And to your point, nobody's fucking going there. Who cares?
It would take the lifetime of all of humanity times 20 million to get there.
Well, the environment. What if we need to go? Because the environment, Tesla, Elon Musk, fucking Blue Origin, Katy Perry, fucking science.
And if you were to trace, dude, heck yeah, man. That's literally their thought. The globers, that's the science thought process. If you were to trace the funding of this Jake this Jake Taylor, he works at the University of Oxford and probably astrophysics department or whatever. And I bet his money that he got to type around on all his computers and the money he gets that goes, it's a freaking grant from the government. It's a grant from the government. And when you look back far enough, all these fundings, whether it's through 501c3 donations or whether it's through direct grants or whether it's all freaking public funds. The hard-working people at Manchester who are busting their balls just drinking beer and watching Manchester United lose, all right, those people are paying for this.
Sideways shot at John.
It is highway robbery.
Yeah.
This is just legalized money laundering and being robbed blind.
Yeah, you're dead ass right. And to make matters worse as far as that's concerned, most of these schools have endowments that are so large, no one really needs to pay for anything anyway. So why the fuck are they taking people's money?
Well, I mean, it's just insane.
Harvard has like $100 billion endowment or something like that.
Just the rich constantly get richer, the poor get poorer, and they feed us this crap to keep us in line because the layman will just be like, oh, look at what they did. Heck yeah, discovery. Heck yeah, science.
This is the intellectual equivalent to bread in circuses. This is what this is.
And it's like I wanted to add to what Robert's saying there. It's like it's how they establish like logical thinking has to, is reserved for the authority kind of thing. It's this kind of shit. As they try to like, take away as like, well, I can't, go in and evaluate this. I can't go in and perform the scientific method on this. That's reserved for the authority. And they take that into so many different other facets of life, whether it be healthcare or something else. It's like it's how they establish this idea of me thinking for myself goes away, and that has to be delegated to an authority.
That's a very good point, John. Like when people are like, are you an expert? Did you go to medical school? Are you an expert? Are you a fucking scientist? That's such bullshit. Guess what? I'm a person with a brain. You're a person with a brain. How about we sit down and fucking figure it out? Because guess what? We can think.
Yeah.
There's no reason that you need to go. I mean, sure, is it convenient to find a subject matter expert? Yes, it is, because guess what they don't have to do? Learn all the shit. Okay? But regular-ass people can learn all the shit, or should be able to, right? In this case, good fucking luck. Okay? Because we're dealing with something that's basically some theoretical bullshit. Somebody made up, drew a cartoon, and said, hey, here's science. Okay? So this is a much different story. But in cases like you're talking about, John, that are a little more practicable, right? When people hand their, health choices over to a physician, or, I was listening to that Douglas Murray debate that was on Rogan, where somebody like, if I'm an academic and I consider myself an expert, right? And Murph's just a guy with a brain who learned something, and I'll sit down and say, well, are you an expert on this? Did you go to school? Are you a fucking expert on this? And people are scared to say, well, yes, I am. But the fact of the matter is, it's just the term expert is already bullshit in that scenario anyway. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
that got me riled up.
No,
I'm not a fan of becoming increasingly less and less a fan of higher education.
Yeah, dude, I've got two things to say to your rant, which was excellent. Number one, the fallacy in and of itself shuts it down immediately. Not all experts agree. So,
right.
So there's your problem right there. All right? One expert says this and one expert says that. Well, the truth can't be this and that. It has to be this or that. So that's how you know appealing to an expert is completely illogical.
Right.
I don't care if you studied your whole life on something. Somebody else could study their whole life on something and have a different opinion. Therefore, the truth is neither.
Yeah.
Or somewhere in the middle. All right?
Or one person's wrong.
Exactly. Or both persons are wrong. All right. So the whole idea of appeal to authority or appeal to an expert is completely illogical. And that's what you can say to anybody who says that.
Right.
Number two, in this specific incident, okay, to the scientists be like, oh, do you know science? Do you know astrophysics? Have you done this math? Have you done all these equations? Have you been in school for 15 years doing equations? And be like, and you can say to them, have you been 124 light years to KB whatever and put your sulfur in a mason jar? Come back here and confirmed it's sulfur. Have you done that? Have you been warping in Interstellar? No, you haven't. You're just retarded. You've just spent $20 million on something that means nothing. You've wasted your whole life on nothing. That's the real thing going on here, and people can never admit that. So there's my rant to your rant.
All right. Is that all we have to say?
It's
about
just
this?
unbelievably stupid. Okay, it's stupid. And I get it's cool, man. Star Wars is cool. Today's Star Wars Day. I like lightsabers as much as the next guy, but I can't go 154 trillion miles. I just can't. All right, we hit 62.5 miles and everyone dies because there's something solid there. All right, let's move on.
Whew. All right. The petty authoritarianism of the Trump administration's book purges. So I had mixed feelings reading this. I know, right? It sounds terrifying. But one thing I wanted to say is I feel like whenever you're reading MSNBC articles, you need to read them in the following voice. Scroll down a little bit, John. We are a mother. Oh, sorry. Scroll up a touch. We are a mother-daughter writing team. In mid-April, one of us, Kathy Johnson, found out that the U.S. Naval Academy had removed her book in a Trump administration-led purge of its library. Okay? To her and the rest of our family, this decision came as a surprise. Kathy and her co-authors published the book, Creating Gender, The Sexual Politics of Welfare Policy in 2007. It's an academic book that received positive reviews from leading political science journals.
Oh my gosh, I got a complaint. Kathy Johnson, she doesn't sound brown.
I'm going to fucking speak to Trump's manager.
We got a problem. That needs to be Sequisha Johnson. we have got a problem.
We should fix that.
All right.
They should have changed her name.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, continue.
So I have mixed feelings about this. This bitch is complaining because they purged this book out of, like, the Naval Library or whatever. Okay? But the book is clearly nonsense. So
wait, what's the book?
Creating Gender, the Sexual Politics of Welfare Policy. And it's supposed to be academic.
How the fuck are you going to operate a submarine if you don't read that book?
How did that end up in the Navy? What happened? Who dropped the ball on that? Or was it like, that is insane that ended up in the Navy.
The Naval Academy removed her book. So
I mean, kudos to her for getting it in the Navy. How the hell did she manage that?
It's impressive. So the query I wanted to put to you guys is, okay?
Okay,
is that,
do it.
Is book burning ever okay? All right. That's what I want to know. So please, speak to this.
That's a multifaceted question. Who's burning the books?
Well, in this case, the government.
So is it okay for the government to ever burn books?
Yeah.
Is that the question you're asking?
Yes.
Man.
Even if it's bullshit like this, like we can all look at this and say that woman, like, wrote this with her vagina. Like, she put the pin in her vagina and wrote it, okay? It's clearly bullshit, all right? This lady's clearly just an absolute raging Karen, all right? But is it okay for the government to... Because this was a real easy thing for, like, all the libtards to say back in the day, like, fuck you, you fascist, we're gonna, you know, like, how dare you say that on, you know? But... is it ever okay for an entity like the government to eliminate information like this? I would say it's not. Now, this clearly has no bearing on what the hell's going on at the Naval Academy. I'm not debating that. I'd say they have every right to save space in their hard drives and actually have, like, manuals and shit on there. That's fine, okay? But were the government to get rid of something like this, is that permissible?
Yeah, I was just going to say, is like they're burning the book for, like, they're burning it for the government not to be able to access it in this particular instance, so who the fuck cares?
Right,
so
right.
Throw that out there as a caveat.
Sure, and that makes, like, why would you need to read about that if you need to go operate a fucking warship? I need to learn about sexual politics of welfare as I'm shooting a fucking 50 cal off of a fucking, whatever those things are. Warships? What do we call them?
Why are you shooting a 50 cal into the ocean?
I don't know, man. I don't know anything about the Army and the Navy, whatever this is.
Anyway, you're like, this is a completely separate incident from the government saying this book is illegal for all people to own.
But they're conflating those two issues here. I mean, you see what they're doing.
Yeah. That's just an appeal to emotion. It's a freaking logical fallacy. It's one does not equal the other. They are not saying it is illegal for you to own this book.
Right. No, they're not.
Okay. Which is what you're asking.
Right.
Right. So this is valid in so many different ways because this is a corporation just doing whatever they want because it's their freaking corporation or whatever. Right. Even if it wasn't a corporation, like we said, they're not making it illegal for you to own this liberal social justice book. All right. What should actually happen, this liberal social justice book should not exist due to the strong presence of men in their families. That's the core of the problem.
Okay. Not the question I asked, but okay.
Well, the question you ask is just, it's not reality.
Okay. Well, that was the least fun thought exercise I've ever played. Thank you for not participating. It was a good time. John, do you want to answer that question before we move on?
I mean, remind me the question again.
Is it ever okay for like a government type entity would it ever be okay for them to burn a book, even if it is abhorrent to you as an individual, which this book is to me? Like, do you think there's ever a scenario wherein that would be appropriate?
I mean, probably not, because it's like you're talking about the government getting into the business of like determining a society's morality,
Right.
and that becomes problematic real fucking quick.
Yeah.
So I would say no, but this challenges that belief just a little bit, just a little bit.
And my point is, an ideal government situation would never be centralized enough to allow this book to come to light. That's
Right.
my point.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point.
That
too.
is
It's like the
right.
idea that like this whoever wrote this fucking book that just became out of some organic like philosophy. That's the biggest like about of bullshit that I've ever heard. Is like this whole like, you know, LGBT transgender bullshit is the most inorganic philosophy that has ever been perpetuated on humanity. Is like this is all centralized top down. So
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Kathy Johnson. You know, we wish you well.
Yeah, go Navy, man. Go Navy. They're doing good. Getting it out of there. All right.
gosh.
Are you done? How many more you got?
Some more. I
All
don't
right,
know.
you have one more. Robert has one more.
Okay, yeah, it's perfect.
This worked out.
Let's do
All right.
mine, then do yours.
All right.
All right, so this is hilarious, man. Also scary, but hilarious just because it's Asians. Look at what happens to these Asians.
I think this is also oh no, this is
working on this robot. Asians working on a robot. How stereotypical.
Jeez.
It's going rogue, man.
Is it supposed to be like pissed?
I don't know what it's doing, but it's scary and hilarious at the same time.
What's the headline of this article? This thing.
Humanoid robot goes off during training.
And it looks like a fucking Karen losing her mind at a manager. You know, like.
Yeah. So what are they training it for? That's the first question you got to ask. Why the heck? What are they training it to do? Why does it need training?
Yeah.
That's kind of freaky, man. Training it for what? For to integrate into our society, to do tasks at home, to be in the freaking Japanese army, or Korean army, or whatever these Asians are.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry, I'm just feeling really ranty today.
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing about this, okay, is how similar the movement of the robot is to the way somebody who's just so pissed they're seeing red, they've lost their mind, would move.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That is what is so disconcerting about this video, because it looks like if you walked outside and for some reason just lost your damn mind on your neighbor, that is exactly what you would look like, or I would look like. And that's what's so
It
uncomfortable.
looks like a
about this.
psychotic break.
Yeah.
I agree, man. It's just weird.
And I mean, not to state the obvious, but the concern is like with AI, popping up. Obviously, that thing's made of fucking metal, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So if that loses its mind because Elon sent it to my house to do some bullshit task, right? Then I'm getting fucked.
Yeah, I mean, your AR-15, you're going to have to empty a whole round. I mean, you're going to need a lightsaber to take this down. This is a super battle droid. I mean, it really is, man. It really is.
Yeah.
And at Star Wars Day, we're talking Star Wars, to further extrapolate that, how do you know Chat GPT, or whatever the real Chat GPT is the CIA has, how do you know that there's not an Order 66 for all these guys at once? You don't.
Right.
They in a blink of an eye, they can be your friend, cleaning, vacuuming your carpet, and then they can chop your head off the next second once there's an EMF signal that goes out from the Vatican. I mean, literally they're building that. It's like Star Wars.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
So
fucking
we all
terrifying.
got to be Obi-Wan, get on our giant lizard, and get the heck out of there. That's the point.
I mean, didn't he get shot?
Get
though,
off the.
in
He
that
got
process?
shot at. His lizard got killed, but Obi-Wan lived. He went off the grid. He lived in caves in Tatooine like Osama, who they vilify. It's all coming full circle. Okay. They tell us everything we need to know.
stories of morality in Star Wars. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's creepy, man.
That's creepy as fuck. Oh my gosh! All right. Whew, that's what we should have ended on. I don't know what's next.
Well, we've got your
honestly.
final article.
Yeah. Oh, hey. All right. So a United Kingdom court found some people who stole a $6 million toilet, guilty of theft. Which is why is that news? A, they stole it. Obviously, they were guilty. Somebody made a toilet out of like 18 or 24 karat gold and installed it 18 karat gold, sorry, and installed it in the Guggenheim, I believe, as a
then it got moved.
a piece of art. All right. I'm getting there, you son of a bitch. Fucking shit.
Read faster.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. Let's just talk about that for a minute. How is that art? That is a toilet. Explain to me how that is up there with fucking Starry Night or the Sistine Chapel.
Dude.
That is a gold toilet. And guess what they entitled that toilet that was on display in the United States? They titled it America. And it was a gold toilet. It's fully functional, by the way. And guess we're encouraged to use it.
Well, okay, many things there. For one, I actually like the title because it's pretty true. Like America is just it looks shiny, it's gilded, it looks like it's the best place in the world, but it's actually shit. So I kind of like the title. Second of all, like, dude, the calling that art, like the postmodern nihilism that just breathes into that.
Right.
You are absolutely spot on to that. It's not freaking art, but they act like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they put it in one of the most prestigious places, in New York City, because everybody's, that building's got that big spiral. It looks weird.
Yeah.
It's embedded in all the movies.
Right.
So you're just like trained to think this is such a statement. This is so sophisticated. Someone has made a toilet with gold, and I am an artist because I can appreciate this.
I took a shit in that toilet.
That's right.
I shat in that toilet.
I actually do agree with the message, though, if that's what he's trying to portray.
No, it's not.
Yeah, man, freaking wild. Yeah, it's freaking great that some British people stole it, though.
Someone procured enough the toilet is not like inlaid. It is cast in 18 karat gold. Someone procured enough gold to cast that toilet.
Wait a minute, that's pure gold?
Yes.
First of all, how is that not more than $6 million? And how is that not 3 million pounds? How do you even move that? You gotta get a crane.
You probably get a fucking crane. But it says cast in 18 karat gold. I'm just assuming that they're not lying to me and that it is actually cast in gold.
I don't know about that because it says the group of thieves used sledgehammers and crowbars to remove the toilet from the floor.
Well, sure, to remove it from the floor, you got leverage. That's doable.
It reportedly took them under 5 minutes to escape.
Oh, man, all right.
I don't know about that.
And insured.
Maybe not.
That's not solid fucking gold through and through.
Yeah, that'd be worth a lot more. How much is gold? John, look up how much gold is per ounce.
That's a lot.
I mean, that's going to be a lot more than $6 million toilet. Okay, that is like a $20 billion toilet.
Currently $3,250 per ounce.
All right, how much? Hey, look up how much does a toilet weigh, John?
Well, it would weigh more. If it was
I
gold,
know,
you
I
fucking
know,
retard.
but I'm going to make a point. I'm going to be conservative. Look up how much a toilet weighs.
We're doing science here on the Veritas Road.
Just put in the top bar. How much does a standard toilet
Why are
weigh?
you so needy? We don't need to look this up. We know it's going to be heavy. I'm going to say, wait. Before you look it up, John.
All right, we're guessing?
Yeah. How much do you think a toilet weighs?
A
standard porcelain toilet.
61 pounds.
I'll go 68.
Range 35 to 90. So
Okay.
y'all both are.
We were both right. Let's just
Correct.
take 35. Multiply 35 by the price of multiply 35 by 16 times the price of gold.
Oh my gosh.
Let's
Let me
see
get my phone out.
Let's see how close it comes to 6 million.
All right.
Because we're
1.82 million.
Oh, really?
Okay.
35 by 16 times 3,250 is 1.82 million.
So let's assume it was 90 pounds because
Yeah.
it's gold. And so it was a small toilet, but it's made of gold.
Well, maybe
So
maybe this thing is solid gold. See,
Yeah,
this is
it
why
might be
this
solid
is why
gold.
we do these
we
exercises.
just
would-
did
That
science.
would be 4.68 million, but you also have to take into account what y'all are missing is there's some bullshit, arbitrary, artistic value to this piece of
Well,
shit.
sure, but not $1
So
million
that's- well,
worth. So
That's what they're
this
rating
tracks.
it, probably.
so-
Maybe, but
Cost-wise, this tracks. So it
This is
likely
why-
is made out of solid
This
gold.
is why we do these exercises. This is more scientific than anything they did at Oxford and Cambridge. I am now revisiting my initial hypothesis, admitting that I was probably wrong.
Right.
This could be solid gold, and which is that's what we do. That's
This
what we
is-
do here on the Veritas Story. We go for the Veritas.
We're just fucking science, and I think that's a great place to end it.
Hell yeah.
Fucking science, bitches.
Toilets weigh 6 billion pounds. I mean, how much did we decide? Toilets are worth $6 million if they're made out of gold. That's what we figured
That's
out.
what we learned today.
That's right.
Thanks for listening. It's been fun.
Send us a golden toilet if you've still got it.
Please.
Whatever
yeah.
happened to it?
It was returned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got it.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening.
They found the guys. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
science. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, science. Go
Veritas.